We've been saying it's number one, number two.
Hello, welcome to Two Sisters Writing and Bickering.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was the behind the scenes peek at one of our spirited discussions about how we proceed with things here. So I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and
I'm Catherine Greenspan.
we are Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. Welcome to 10,000 Things. This is actually our 8th episode of our video cast. And we talk about the 10,000 things you need to bloopers, the 10,000 things you need to know to write and publish your book. So we get kind of silly because we work really hard. Like I literally have been working for about 6 months straight. I took one weekend off and went up to our cottage, and that was it. So
yesterday I was sitting at my desk, and it was like 7:30 at night, and I was getting a little antsy, and I was like, oh, probably because I've been sitting here working since 6:30 a.m. So I moved over to the couch with my computer and did the rest of my work there. But we love what we do. That's what happens.
That's the point, okay? We love it. But let me just add, Catherine and I are very committed to physical fitness. Like we get up and we get our exercise in. So
I got my 600 active points yesterday.
See, yeah, we don't miss.
I made all my weekly goals with my Apple Watch.
She has to have the analytics. I like to just get up and go. So yeah, we don't mess around when it comes to our physical fitness and our wellness. And anyway, we're so happy that you're here tonight, because tonight's episode of 10,000 Things is continuing our conversation about what type of author are you? And tonight we're going to talk about the type of author who has finished writing your book and now it's time to get published, but how should you proceed? So Catherine, you want to give an overview of that?
Sure. So a lot of people, we've been talking about different paths to get to the same outcome of being an author and a published author. And a lot of times people will wait until their book is done and then say, oh, I need to publish this. Or they'll be thinking about it, but not taking action as they're writing. So it's sort of an ongoing path as you're writing to be exploring the different ways and different options, because all of the options, like everything in life, have pros and cons. So
here's the cool thing. We're going to show you some examples, because I have had one book published 3 different ways, okay? And I'm going to take you on the journey of Dark Secret, my second novel, which was a bestseller, very popular book about somebody who's passing for white. It's about 2 sisters. One looks they're mixed race. One looks brown skinned and one is white, and looks white, and she's passing for white, and their mother is dying, she's African American, and she needs a new kidney, and the only person who can save her is the white looking daughter who's passing for white and doesn't want to expose herself to her new rich family, or else they'll kick her out and it would be tragic, but a scandal ensues anyway. So anyway, this book first published by St. Martin's Press, okay, in hardcover. The paperback came out the following year. Then I ran out of books. It did so well, but they didn't do a second printing. And I had all kinds of book clubs and events and speaking. I needed more books. So I literally self-published and did these books at a printing company and had the proverbial books in the garage thing, boxes of books, but I sold them all. I mean, I really did well with it. My mother took the photos. What, pal?
Oh, that is the vanity press route, where you print the book, you publish and print the book, and then you have a garage full of books to sell.
Yeah. So if you have a machine to sell the books, like a website or a class or something, that's fine. You'll make money and you'll sell your books. But if you don't have any marketing skills or any kind of program, your books are just going to sit there, and it's literally, oh, Max the cat makes an appearance yet again. Your books are just going to sit there, and you're going to be really frustrated and mad. So then we started our company and we published Dark Secret with a new, improved, glamorous cover. And so we have 3 different versions of Dark Secret published 3 different ways. And I want to also show you some examples of people who've finished their books and published them, but we'll get into that in a minute. So Catherine, I want to talk about when people come to us and they don't know what to do. What's the first thing you'd like to tell them?
Well, it's the first question is, what is your objective for this book? You've just created this book. What do you want to see? Who do you want to read it? Where are they going to get it? How are they going to find you? When do you want to do it? Do you want to do it as soon as possible, or do you want to take the next couple of years of your life to find a home for it?
Right.
Do you want to own your copyright, or are you willing to sell it? These are things. The other thing that goes along with that is, are there derivative materials like a workbook that you've envisioned for as a companion to the book you've just written? And if so, how do you foresee that? Is that something that if you had to sell the copyright of the book and the derivative rights, or you can't publish anything else, how would you feel about that? And also the same goes for the audiobook. So one thing is, how much control do you want to have, and how much time do you want to spend?
Oh, I love that. I love that. So let me just do a brief overview of the main types of publishing. Most people, if they could get published by the big 5, the main giant publishing houses in New York City, they'd go that way. And the way that works is that you need a literary agent. You need an agent who is going to represent you and shop your book to these acquisition editors. And they are going to hopefully start a bidding war for your book, and it goes to auction. And you pick which publisher is offering you the best deal. Now that happens for people who are famous, people who have some kind of notoriety, people who have giant followings, and that does not typically happen for the average person unless you are that sort of lightning bolt, 1 in a million. It does happen. So, but for most people, it doesn't, unless you have a giant platform or you're very well known or you have some kind of expose story that's relevant to the world news at the moment. So you can try and get a literary agent. You can look for them online. You should connect with somebody who represents your genre, somebody who really connects with you and loves your work and will stick with you when you get rejection letters, because you will get rejection letters, and then they can shop your book. If you have a nonfiction book, you'll have to write a book proposal, and that's a whole nother conversation. So there's that. Another really huge benefit is if you go with the big 5, they're going to write you a check to buy the rights to publish your book. The drawback is you do not own it, and once you sell it and they might delay publication, you can't do anything with your book. They own it now because they paid you for it. But then again, they paid you for it. So I don't know. That's why you have to make the best decision for yourself. The next way to go is independent publishers, which is basically a smaller version of what I just described. The benefit is they typically have a smaller staff, so it's a more intimate experience and you might get more personal attention. They might not pay you as much. It's a smaller scale operation, so there's all kinds of variables. And then comes our type of company, which is a hybrid, where you pay us to perform every step of publishing from A to Z. We handle all the steps, all the little things you never knew were involved in publishing a book. And there's a lot, and it's
all
tedious.
10,000 of them.
Right. All 10,000.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And literally, I've been like, okay, my finger is split open from my mouse, from like this, from making an index and whatever else I've been doing over the past couple weeks. I mean, literally my fingers split open. Okay. So there can be some tediousness, but it's very exciting when the sense of fulfillment, when you actually write 100,000 words and like put them in a book and share it with the world, and then people are talking about it. It's just amazing. Right, Catherine?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Because the letters you've gotten for your Veronica series novels for young adults are just tearjerkers, beautiful letters from young girls who write letters saying they love your book. So it's just the best feeling.
It really is. It really is.
So then the next the next type of publishing is self-publishing, which you can literally publish a book on Amazon within a day or two and start making money. You do it all yourself, and you can do it for a couple $100 if you hire somebody to make your cover, which you really should, because an amateur cover is going to look tacky. So you want it to look first class, and you can get very low cost graphic design on places like um, 99 Designs and Fiverr. So those are the four types of publishing: the big five: independent publishers, hybrid publishers, and self-publishing. You can also just make your manuscript, format it, and take it to a printing company, like I did for Dark Secret that one time, and just print up books and sell them if you have a class, or if you're a speaker, or you have some kind of mechanism to sell the books on your website or at your speaking events. Then go for that too. That's very valuable, because if it costs you $4 to manufacture one book and you sell it for $20 or $25, that's a significant return on your investment. That's huge. And if you're a speaker and you're getting paid to speak and sell books at that kind of a markup, you can really, really make a lot of money and get
For speakers, I think there was I watched some Jack Canfield thing. He's the Chicken Soup for the Soul guy. A couple of years ago, he said something about if you're a speaker and you have a book, your speaking rate can like triple or quadruple or something crazy. It was like you could be a $10,000 speech person, and if you have a book, that can jump to like 50,000, because suddenly you have this product.
Wow,
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. So we're going to talk another day about how a book boosts your brand, amplifies your authority, and all that if you're a small business owner or an expert in your field. So that's really powerful. Catherine, before we wrap up tonight, I wanted to also give some examples of people who wrote their book and got published, okay?
Yeah,
so
let's do it.
Our 25th book is Enough to Be Dangerous by Mort Meisner. And this is a bestseller. It's an amazing book. And he wrote it with Stephanie Roop. And he knew me from a long time ago and trusted us. And we published the book. It was already written. I edited it, and then we published it. So that's pretty exciting. So he had already had his book finished, and he wanted to come with us. Similarly, Lisa Peterson, who is, we've worked with her as a business coach, and she wrote her book, The Mindful Millionaire. Lisa Peterson, she had written her book and she got a book deal with Macmillan, and it's just beautifully done.
St. Martin's, the same as you.
Mm-hmm. St. Martin's,
not Macmillan.
Well, they own it now.
Oh.
But yeah, okay. Thank you for clarifying. St. Martin's Press. See, St. Martin's Press right here. Pardon me, corrected. St. Martin's Press. Okay. It's beautiful. It's like got a really cool texture, and I love this book. It's like really light, but it's so solid with content, and Lisa's just brilliant. So anyway, the point is that she had already written her book. She'd been working on it for a long time, and she got a book deal with one of the major publishers in New York City. So that's really exciting. So it does happen, and she had a big platform, which is really important. The publishers want to see that you have a platform of people who follow you, support you, engage in your endeavors, so they'll buy the book. That's really important.
And I think I'm just going to guess that because Lisa is also our friend, and when we ask her to be on this podcast, she will come happily and talk about her journey as an author.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she actively built and continues to build her platform, because we talked a couple episodes ago about platform. That's what the big five want. Mm-hmm. They want to know that you have a platform. Mm-hmm. And she's like a platform guru, because she takes such good care of the people on her platform, and that's how it grows.
Right. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, we should totally talk to her about that because it's authentic. It's like there's this very altruistic mission to help people and share your wisdom. And that's what anybody who writes a book is driven by, that for sure. So if you have any questions about publishing, please write us a comment. We'd love to answer your questions. Maybe we could do a whole show on whatever your question is.
Yeah.
There's so many mysteries. In fact, a lot of people think they can do it themselves. And there was this woman, this really brilliant businesswoman I know. She came to us and talked to us about the possibility of publishing her book with two sisters writing and publishing. And then she opted to do it herself. And I saw her about a year later at an event. And I said, "How'd it go? Congratulations." And she said, "I wish I had gone with you because there's a giant learning curve when you're trying to publish a book yourself. There's so many little details that we've done a zillion times and we know the ins and outs, and still we're constantly learning. Like just today, I did something I had never done. And it can be like a very heart-pounding experience, but we're learning and growing new things, new experiences every day. It's really exciting. So that's why we're
Go ahead.
Catherine? That's why we do this, because we know so much and we know so many people are trying. And guess what? More and more people during the pandemic are actually writing their books. More and more people are starting their own companies, and they're realizing that a book matters, or they're taking time to reflect on their life, or they want to contribute something as a writer, their poetry, their memoir, their how-to book, their, I don't know, blueprint for a better world. So now's the time. So that's why we're here for you to teach you what we know. Catherine, is there anything you'd like to add about publishing a book? What about book covers?
About book covers?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Well, some people have zero clue about what they want on their book cover. And some people have a very precise vision of what they want. And you have to go with what you like. If you are working with a publishing company, they're going to have an art department that's going to design covers for you. And then some people have a very clear vision. So for example, Mort had a photo shoot. He had this special picture taken. It was just perfect. He had the right expression that goes along with the cover. I wanted to convey mystery in this one, so I did. And the art department of St. Martin's Press did this one, which I thought was really interesting with the ivy going up the stairs. So your cover needs to really convey the mood and tone and style of your book. And people do judge a book by its cover. But if you're going with a hybrid publisher, an independent publisher that allows you to have input, or if you're self-publishing, you have so much creative control over what your cover looks like. You can make it consistent with your branding in terms of fonts and colors and styles. Like Jay Terrell, he's an online web marketing consultant who we're publishing next year. He used his branding colors and the same imagery of his website. So it's all synchronized, and it's really going to amplify him as an authority in his world. So it's pretty cool. It just when you synchronize all those details, it just makes it like one more beautiful asset in your empire.
And our author, Dr. Thomas Genevieve, whose book Confessions of a Plastic Surgeon,
Enhancing Butts, Boobs, and Beauty.
Yes. So he wanted, his original vision of his cover was a picture of him holding a breast implant. And we did that cover, and then it was set to be released, and he started working with a PR firm. And they said to him, "You're not famous enough to be on the cover of your own book." So the actual cover, so his book has two covers, one that is out there in the world, and it has a very seductive a woman in black very in with super low cleavage. And then for the people, that's the book that the world gets. But for the people who buy the book directly from him, they get the cover of him, they get the book with him on the cover. Because if, let's say, if Dr. Genevieve did your mommy makeover, it'd be super cool to have him autograph his own book, and then you have it. And we actually interviewed a number of his patients for that book.
Yeah.
So how cool would it be to be one of those people interviewed in his book and to have an autographed copy with him on the cover? That's super cool. But that's something to keep in mind. And that's something that one of the big five would have said to him, same thing. You're not famous enough to be on your cover. Well, guess what? He is. He chose to be.
Yeah.
We were also able to create a secondary cover that was more mainstream, that didn't have him on the cover, that had like an attractive woman on the cover. So
yeah, it's really, really fascinating. Another thing though is you're going to get all kinds of opinions about what you should do, and the bottom line is it's your book, so you get to decide what does or doesn't go on the cover or in the book, right, Catherine?
Well, right. And that comes back to the path that you choose for publishing really is dictated by, one, your objective, two, how much control you want to have, and three, how much time you want to spend. Because like you said, somebody could upload a book to Amazon and have it on Amazon in a couple of days, or they could go on a 3 to 5 year journey finding a literary agent and then waiting for that person to shop it, waiting for the time to be right. So control and time, those are the questions. Those are the big questions.
I love that. That's excellent. Well, we hope that tonight has provided you with some wisdom and guidance and information. We'd be delighted to answer any questions, so please drop us a comment, and maybe that might inspire a future episode of 10,000 Things, the 10,000 things you need to know to write, publish, and promote a book. We are two sisters writing and publishing. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins.
And I'm Catherine Greenspan.
And we're really grateful that you spent this time with us right now. So please, happy writing, happy reading, and we will see you next week, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, for the next episode of 10,000 Things with two sisters writing and publishing. We'll see you next time. Be well.